And welcome everyone to this evening's RNN Group webinar. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight's webinar is something I have been really excited to be able to host because I am going to be on the same learning journey as everyone out there tonight and learning about HN Flex, a new, from what I gather, level 4-5 qualifications in bite-sized chunks, but that's all I know. So I'm actually going to introduce our experts who will be able to talk to you about this and answer some questions that I've got here. First of all, I'll just go around my screen. I have Keith Sanderson on, who is the Director of Campus for Rotherham College and also oversees University Centre Rotherham. We have Mark Ryan, who is the Vice Principal of Curriculum for the RNN Group. We have Mel Smith, who is the Director of Campus for North Notts College. And we have Deborah Adams, who is the Director of Campus for Dearne Valley College. So we have all the big hitters here tonight to talk about HN Flex, which is really exciting. I have a list of questions that I've basically Googled, questions that people have been asking, taking questions from people as I've been going along the last month or so. And I have a list here of what you want to know about HN Flex. So over to you, Mark, for my first question. What is HN Flex?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the webinar, as Lucy's mentioned already. HN Flex is a relatively new model designed to offer a flexible modular learning approach from the higher national framework of the higher national certificates, higher national diplomas, and unlike having to complete a full higher national certificate, an HNC, or a higher national diploma, an HND, the HN Flex allows individuals to pick and choose units that meet their needs and they're tailored to their needs. It provides a more tailored approach, adaptable approach, and it's easier for students to sort of build and gain the HNC or the HND recognised qualification. And the modular approach also supports access into further learning, high-level learning, eventually into completing a level 6. And it's been adapted more recently to as a strategy to manage and to meet and improve pathways into higher education, but also meet the skills needs that's been identified from government white papers, local skills improvement plans, so that as an organisation we can meet sectors needs and we can meet individual needs to ensure that those skills gaps are being addressed in a flexible approach and model. So basically, in a nutshell, an HN Flex are bite-sized chunks that Lucy mentioned earlier of acquiring a higher national certificate or a higher national diploma.
That is really interesting. That's going to really help certain types of people, which is really my next question. Keith, who is the HN Flex suitable for?
Thank you, Lucy. Good evening, everyone. So who is HN Flex suitable for? So if you have a busy lifestyle, lots of people have got families, full-time jobs, and the thought of committing to a full 2-year HNC or HND qualification might be quite daunting, or in some cases not achievable due to your lifestyle, trying to fit it in around work, trying to fit it in around family time. It can be quite difficult and challenging. So HN Flex is suitable for those people that want to achieve a high level qualification, want to do so at their own pace. So as Mark has alluded to, you can start to build credits, build a collection of units which works towards higher study and further qualifications afterwards, all the way up to level 6. And it's also suitable for those people that maybe are working and want to upskill their, develop the current skill set. And it may be that you want to take a module in leadership and management, okay? But you want to do that without committing to a full high national certificate in business. So you can take on an HN Flex module, which upskills you, develops your practice for your day-to-day working life, and you can do it in a more flexible manner. So to sum it up, flexible learning for busy people.
Thanks, Keith. And Deborah, I was just thinking, I have a question that's not in my list of questions that I might actually tack onto this about how does HN Flex work, in that how is it also differ to an HTQ, for instance, an HNC and HND, and why would you do an HN Flex over those other qualifications that are skills based too?
Okay, good evening, everybody. So good question, Lucy. So how does the HN Flex differ from the HTQ, which the HTQ are flexible learning programs for adults. However, the HN Flex are even more flexible, that as colleagues have alluded, they are small, bite-sized qualifications that you can stack up. So, for example, somebody might want to do leadership, so that will complement their role. So if they're working in an operational type of role, working in healthcare, for example, and that they're in some kind of supervisory kind of role, then they might want to just do a small learning module that's linked to leadership and management. So learners can actually pick and choose which areas that they want to study and how that can complement their career pathway, their career progression, for promotional kind of opportunities within their existing employment, or for learners that are actually studying a degree program that they feel, or they've studied a degree program and they feel that one of these skills, these modules, whether it's operational management, whether it's business development, whether it's applied science and cell biology, then it would be something that they can pick and choose to complement their existing commitments and lifestyle. Have I answered your question, Lucy?
Yeah, I wish this was around my day. This is incredible. Although I shouldn't say, because I know I could do that now. Actually, we have lots of adult learners actually doing these higher level courses, and this is something for adults who want to pick and choose bits and pieces rather than doing a full, like 2 or 3 year qualification. This is really going to help a lot of people. So yeah, thank you. That has answered the question a lot. Mel, a lot of people will be thinking this sounds really interesting. What are the entry requirements for an HN Flex?
So good evening, everyone. Thanks for that question, Lucy. There's two routes in, really. If you are a college leaver, you would expect to have your level 3 qualification. It could be in a relevant field, or it could be in something else, because you might just be interested in, like Deborah says, the leadership and management. But as mature learners, you wouldn't need a formal qualification. We'd look at your experience and look at where you're working, looking at what you wanted to go on to achieve to, and put you on that right programme that fits you and what you need.
So this is really quite flexible in its approach to getting people on the courses as well. So, for instance, would you have to have you'd obviously have to have your level 2 maths and English. If you hadn't completed that, obviously we've heard about adult apprentices now not having to do their sort of English and maths. Would that still have to be taken in consideration? How would that work for, let's say, adult learners wanting to consider these bite-sized chunks?
Now, if an adult learner wanted to improve their maths and English, we've got those courses as well that they could enrol onto and upskill, including any kind of digital support they would need as well. But it would take on an individual basis. As long as you had a good standard, don't see an issue with being able to go on to one of these HN Flex units.
Fantastic. I think that's what a lot of adults want to hear, because some of them are rightly nervous of their English and maths ability. So that's great that we can support them with English, maths, as well as being flexible in our approach when it comes to admission. Thank you, Mel. That was really helpful. So I think a lot of people will be thinking about exams, especially adults are quite, worried about exams and how that works. So Keith, are there any exams in the HN Flex that learners would have to take?
So Lucy, assessment within HN Flex units are predominantly assignment-based or project-based learning assessments. So as opposed to a sit-down exam where you are under quite a lot of pressure to perform at that particular moment, they are assignment-based. So there is submission deadlines and timeframes for you to work to, but they are all reasonable timeframes, and there's plenty of support in between to help you towards completion of your assessment. Equally, some units are assessed by project-based, which is a culmination of a number of skills that have been developed either through study with us or within your own workplace, which culminate in one project unit, which could be a project around engineering or modern methods of construction, for example. So not exam-based, primarily project-based and assignment-based.
I think a lot of people will be thinking few at this point in time, so thank you, Keith. Mark, I missed out a question actually that I probably should have answered before. There's for a lot of people, they'll want to know how long this will take. So how long do they have to complete an HN Flex unit? Mark, over to you.
HN Flex are really useful for adult learners, career changers, part-time students who may struggle financially, or they can't commit to it because of family constraints, etc. A typical HNC would take around 12 months to complete, which is around 120 credits. An HND, 240 credits, would take 2 years. Now, an HN Flex, which would be a unit, could take anything around 3 to 12 months. And the reason I say 3 to 12 months is because we're working around flexible module approaches. Some individuals might need it to be over a longer period of time because of their commitments. Other people might be able to complete it because they work shift patterns, as an example. Others might be in a break between employment. So it allows people that flexibility. So to answer your question in terms of an HN Flex module, you're looking at anything between 3 to 12 months, depending on an individual and their personal circumstances. The mode of delivery also is a benefit to that as well, in terms of face-to-face, remote, etc. But maybe that's a question that is posted into the chat in a while. Thank you.
That is actually the next question that dovetails really nicely. Is as a lot of people obviously want to be able to study, they may not be able to access or get into a location. So the question is, can I study HN Flex units remotely? And that will be over to Deborah, if that's okay.
Hello again, everyone. Thanks, Lucy. Absolutely, 100%. Learners can study remotely. They'll be able to log on to the platform. Predominantly, we use Google Classroom, so learners be able to log on. We'd give them guidance how to log on, and all of their coursework will be accessible, and they'll be able to engage in like online face-to-face delivery with other colleagues, other peers online. And basically they can submit their assessments online and receive feedback equally, and actually undertake tutorials, one-to-one support from their tutors. It is dependent upon which particular module they choose. It may be that one or two parts of their project that Keith mentioned. It may be that there is a practical assessment or a practical application of skills, and subject to the delivery model, there will be some flexibility whether that's required for the learners to be in, or whether it's something that they can do remotely and upload, maybe, for example, a video of actually completing that practical element. I hope that's answered your question, Lucy.
I can see why it's called HN Flex. This sounds the most flexible learning course at a high level, which is fantastic. Thank you. Yes, that has. Mel, is there a limit to the number of HN Flex units a person can study at one time, or generally?
Generally, the maximum is around 4 units. Each unit's typically worth around 15 credits, so you can actually accumulate up to 60 credits in total. Now, those credits you can potentially put towards a full higher national certificate or onto the higher national diploma. So you could, that's why it's so good, because you can pick and choose what suits you, but then you can also do as many as I've just alluded to that could then lead into that higher national as well.
That is fantastic. That actually goes towards working for something, but in a bite-sized chunk capability. That's really helpful. How long have these been actually out? How long has the government had these available for people to study? Are they quite new anyone can answer this. Are these quite new course options for higher level study?
Yeah, it's a relatively new model and mode of studying to encourage individuals to retrain, to reskill, to upskill. So they are relatively new models of practice and learning. Okay,
thank you. I think I've asked the question about assessment through exams, Mark. So I'm just going to the next one. In fact, everyone can tell me what they think about. What are the benefits of choosing HN Flex? Mark first, if you want to give your view on the benefits of HN Flex.
Yeah, I think going back to where we spoke about assessments, I think what's really, really important to sort of recognise and understand as well is because it's a vocational practical way of learning, the assessments are aligned to that. So there could be it could be a work-based project, it could be portfolio-based, developing their practical skills, using a practical task to be able to demonstrate knowledge. That's the beauty of the assessments, and that's a real benefit of choosing an HN Flex. You're able to sort of develop and show and display your knowledge and your skills through different modes and different elements of higher level learning. In terms of benefits, it's a flexible, modular approach to learning, as we've said. You can study at your own pace. I mentioned earlier, a unit can take anything between 3 and 12 months, depending upon your lifestyle, your feedback, your work commitments, your family commitments. There's lots of things that the HN Flex allows and takes into consideration. Keith mentioned it fits around your work and it fits around your life at the start. It's perfect for that. It's personalised to you. So again, we spoke about the types of assessments that can come to life and can bring your personal characteristics to life in terms of how you want to be assessed and how you can be assessed for you to gain the benefit. We're living in a really costly world at the minute where we've got rises in fuel, etc. House prices and household incomes and becoming much tighter, and there's much more expense in terms of how we're having to to live and to get by. So a cost-effective alternative to full-time study of an HNC HND is another really real sort of benefit and positive to an HN Flex, and it allows you to sort of build upon those credits that Mel alluded to earlier in terms of completing 4 units and building the stepping stone. As I said, units are stackable, so you can build those up and work towards an HNC and HN Flex. Another benefit is that it creates a work readiness, so you're developing those skills through how you're taught, how you're delivered, to how you are assessed. So again, it's putting you in real life situations and real life scenarios. It builds to a recognised qualification, and the units that are in that link to a recognised qualification. So when you put it on your CV and you're talking to a prospective employer, you can identify that you're creating stackable units towards a qualification. It improves job prospects. So talking about the rising living costs, it's going to help you acquire higher paid jobs, higher paid salaries, so that you can compensate for that as well. And then just some other little things. It bridges gaps between university. It allows a different route into university. If you want to move into university at a later life through your career progression. So there's lots and lots of benefits that it does house. In addition to some people wanting a career change and having a keen interest, because it's a smaller approach to rather than a full qualification, it then starts to allow that that change of career if that's something that's needed. It aligns to the reform of lifelong learning as well. So the lifelong learning entitlement, the LLE, is a tongue twister, which is starting 2025, 2026, so that every individual will be provided with a bank account, if you like, that you can purchase your units, you can purchase higher level skilled qualifications. So again, you can develop a personalized higher level portfolio So again, that's a real benefit, which the pilot's completed with the government. A summary and a conclusion currently being created to move out the lifelong learning entitlement fund, the LLE. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the benefits of an HN Flex for you as an individual and maybe for an employer.
I was just going to ask that question actually. Is this something, Mark, that employers can support their employees by funding it? Is there government funding support available for this? And I have been looking at the costs quickly online, and they're hugely reasonable compared to, let's say, a degree. But would this be something that employers can get support for, or employees can get support for too?
Yeah, so as I said, some units can be funded through employer schemes or different government initiatives, or through the learner entitlement and learner loans.
Right, thank you. Right, it's over to each of our campus directors now to talk about what HN Flex offerings we are going to be having from September, I gather. So what I'll do is I'll start with Keith Sanderson, who again is our Director of Campus for Rotherham College, as well as overseeing University Centre Rotherham. Keith, what can Rotherham College tempt our viewers to?
Oh, get ready to be tempted. We have 4 priority sectors that we are offering provision within: construction, business, digital and engineering. So within construction, we have a couple of pathways, one around site supervision, so those that are working on site currently but want to take that next step up into a supervisory role, where you'll develop an understanding of site supervision and operations and the legal and statutory requirements required to work and lead within the construction sector. And our other pathways around modern methods of construction. So retrofit is a big agenda at the moment. A lot of properties are being retrofitted, and so we offer provision developed around science and materials, refurbishment, alternative energy, and conservation and renovation of properties. So quite a robust construction offer there. We then have business, where we offer leadership and management, operations management, organisational behaviour, understanding and leading change, and developing individuals, teams and organisations. That obviously would benefit anyone who is in any role across any industry that wants to become a leader. Within digital, we have just built a fantastic new digital facility, and within that we've got a strong offer around cybersecurity and AI. So within cyber, we look at cybersecurity, network security, cryptography in the cloud and network management. And within AI, we've got programming, fundamentals of AI, machine learning and robotics. And finally, in engineering, we've got all the core engineering principles around mechanical principles, electrical, electronic principles, and the maths and science that you would need to equip you to become an engineer, as well as engineering design and managing in a professional engineering project. So hopefully that's tempted you all, and you'd like to come and join us at Rotherham College from HN Flex.
It's like an adult sweet shop of course temptation. That's incredible. I love it. Thank you, Keith. Mel, over to you and to North Notts area. What can North Notts College offer the community of North Notts and Bassetlaw?
So at North Notts, we are focusing on the computing side. So very much like Keith just covered. So we're very much looking at cloud technologies and the big data. So within that, you're looking at data analytics and cloud computing, looking at all those emerging technologies and visualization of big data analytics. And then AI, that's the big new thing. So looking at the fundamentals of artificial intelligence and those systems and a bit of robotics, and then the cybersecurity and some cloud technologies. So looking at the database design and development in the cloud and website design. That's what North Notts has got to offer.
That is fantastic. And Deborah, Dearne Valley College, what can it offer our viewers?
Thank you, Lucy. Well, to complement all of those other HN Flex across the group, at Dearne Valley College, we are offering the Applied Science HN Flex. So anyone that's interested in biology or genetics or cell biology, this is the course for you. So this can complement existing knowledge of anatomy, physiology, or sciences at level 3 for anyone that's wanting to progress onto that higher level and just want to sort of test the waters at level 4, getting ready then to complete a full HNC if they want to, or to complement the existing careers. So it could be someone that's interested in a lab technician type of role. So they want to be able to do the genetic toxology kind of learning pathway, or maybe a clinical pathology pathway, or just general cells and cells biology. So that's what we offer at Dearne Valley College. Thank you.
That is fascinating. Incredible that we offer those areas like biology, especially within that. That's amazing. And to have the digital side is so important at the moment and so popular. So yeah, a really good range, everyone listening and viewing out there, that the RNN Group offers across its campuses. So if you need to know more, the most important thing to do is to literally go onto the RNN Group website. And at the bottom of the website, you'll see all the contact details for each of the college campuses, both email and phone, depending what you prefer. So please don't hesitate to go on the rnngroup.co.uk website, go to the bottom, and you'll see all our contact details there. Thank you for that, Director of Campuses. That was absolutely fantastic. So I think now we've whetted everyone's appetite with these incredible courses available. The most important thing I think people want to know is, when are we offering them? Mark?
You actually stole my thunder from this question several minutes ago, Lucy. So we'll be starting from September 2025. We're in the process now of ensuring that the structure, the sequence, the content is ready and available through the different models that we've discussed previously in the meeting through the multiple different questions. So 2025 September start.
This is fantastic, everyone. So you have 6.5 months to get your applications in for these various incredible courses. If you want to know more, the most important thing is this: we are having open days coming up. So on Saturday, the 15th of March, we have an open day at Rotherham College, where you can talk about engineering, construction, digital and business with Keith and his team, and the HN Flex options there. And then on Saturday, the 22nd of March, Mel's college, North Notts College, and Deborah's, Dearne Valley College, will be having their open days. So you can talk about digital at North Notts College and health at Dearne Valley College on Saturday, the 22nd of March. You just go online to get rnngroup.co.uk, go onto the open events page, and it will link you through to any one of those campuses to book on, or just turn up. Absolutely no problem at all. So I don't have any questions from our viewers today. So it just remains for me to thank our amazing experts and directors of campus and vice principal of curriculum for their time today. Before I leave the webinar today, it is, as everyone probably may know, National Careers Week next week. Really exciting week this will be. We have tons of activities going on at our campuses every day, from careers fairs, guest speakers, workshops, taster sessions, CV writing, interview technique support, you name it. Outside speakers, talking about brand, personality, really phenomenal things going on throughout the week. But we are having 2 webinars, one on Tuesday lunchtime at 1 o'clock, where you will see Mark Ryan again if you tune in. That's on skills for employment and the importance of power skills. And if you want to know more about power skills, tune in on Tuesday the 4th at 1 o'clock. And then on Thursday, we have higher skills for learners. So there, Mark and I will be joined by James Godsall, who is our Director of Employer Partnerships and Apprenticeships, to talk about higher skills for learners, which will follow on nicely from tonight's topic of HN Flex. So thank you, Keith, Mel, Deborah and Mark, for your time tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and for those of you who watch this after this evening. And any questions, just go on to rnngroup.co.uk, go to the bottom to find all of our contact details. And thank you very much. Thank you all again tonight for your time. Thank you all then. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.